What if I told you this Riyadh Derby won't be decided by goals, but by one heartbeat? Ronaldo under fire, Al Nassr under pressure, and Al Hilal waiting for a single mistake that could flip an entire season upside down. Legends are questioned, reputations are on the line, and one moment could turn heroes into villains. But here's the twist. There's a hidden factor everyone's ignoring, and once you see it, you'll never watch this derby the same way again. Stay with me. We'll explain everything in this video step by step. Don't skip. Lights on. Heartbeats racing. Riyadh is holding its breath. Because tonight, it's not just a football match, it's a statement. Al Hilal versus Al Nassr. Blue against yellow, pride against pride. And standing at the centre of the storm, Cristiano Ronaldo and Kingsley Coman. Listen to that noise. You can almost hear the city trembling. At Al Nassr, Ronaldo isn't just leading a team, he's leading a movement. 40 years old, please. The man trains like the clock is chasing him. After every setback, every doubter, every headline questioning his fire, he responds the same way, with goals, with fury, with that familiar look that says, follow me or get out of the way. The message inside the dressing room is simple. This derby is personal. Miss a chance, forget it. Lose a duel, fight again. Because in games like this, legends don't wait for moments. They create them. And then there's Al Hilal. Calm on the outside, ruthless underneath. Kingsley Coman steps forward, not shouting, not screaming, just quietly reminding everyone what elite speed, precision, and big game mentality look like. A man who has played finals like their routine, now ready to write another chapter in Riyadh. Hilal know the pressure is on. Injuries, expectations, a target on their backs, yet they thrive in chaos. This team doesn't fear Ronaldo, they respect him. And that might be even more dangerous. This derby isn't about tactics on a board, it's about who blinks first. One sprint, one mistake, one moment of madness, or magic. Fans lean forward, coaches clench their jaws, players stare down the tunnel knowing that 90 minutes can redefine an entire season. Ronaldo rallying the faithful, Coman sharpening the blade, Riyadh split in half. Buckle up, because when the whistle blows, history won't wait. Cristiano Ronaldo steps into this moment carrying far more than just the captain's armband, because every camera, every chant, every whisper of doubt seems magnetically drawn to him. At Al Nassr, pressure is not an obstacle, it is oxygen, and Ronaldo breathes it in like a challenge personally delivered to him. Criticism about age, pace and expectations doesn't fade quietly in the background, it echoes loudly, and he makes sure everyone hears his response on the pitch and in the dressing room. Training sessions become statements where intensity rises, standards are non-negotiable, and every teammate understands that excuses have no place here. When results wobble or performances dip, Ronaldo doesn't hide behind reputation. He confronts the moment head-on, turning frustration into focus and doubt into defiance. Inside Al Nassr, his presence reshapes mentality. Younger players train sharper, veterans dig deeper, and the entire squad feels the weight of representing something bigger than themselves. Ronaldo's message is simple but relentless. Pressure is proof that the game matters. Every missed chance from previous matches, every point dropped, every headline questioning leadership becomes fuel poured onto an already burning competitive fire. He studies opponents obsessively, visualizing movements, anticipating weaknesses, and demanding the same mental sharpness from those around him. This isn't just motivation by words, it's leadership by obsession, by example, by an unspoken demand that everyone around him raises their ceiling. The Riyadh Derby amplifies everything. Against Al Hilal, emotions run hotter, margins shrink, and reputations are tested under the harshest lights. Ronaldo understands that these are the nights players are remembered for, the moments fans replay for years. He reminds his teammates that fear has no place in a derby, that hesitation is punished instantly, and that belief must outweigh nerves. Criticism from pundits and rivals becomes part of the pre-match soundtrack, something he almost welcomes because it sharpens his edge and hardens his resolve. Every sprint, every press, every reaction after a missed opportunity sends a signal to the rest of the team. Standards never drop, not now, not ever. For Al Nassr supporters, Ronaldo represents defiance against doubt, a living symbol that ambition doesn't expire with age. His hunger feels personal, as if every challenge to the club's identity runs through him first. He transforms pressure into purpose, reminding everyone that great players don't wait for perfect conditions to perform. They impose themselves even when circumstances resist, even when criticism grows louder, even when the weight of expectation threatens to overwhelm. In the build-up to this derby, Ronaldo doesn't promise goals or guarantees victory, but he does promise intensity, belief and a refusal to shrink. From the moment, setting the emotional tone for Al Nassr as they prepare to step into one of the most charged nights of their season. Kingsley Coman approaches the Riyadh Derby with a different kind of authority, one built not on noise or theatrics, but on experience forged at the highest level of European football. At Al Hilal, his leadership is quiet, measured, and deeply respected, the type that doesn't need raised voices to command attention. He has played on nights where trophies were decided by inches, where pressure was absolute and mistakes unforgiving, and that history shapes the way. He prepares his teammates now. In training, his focus is surgical, every movement sharp, every drill purposeful, reminding those around him that big matches are won long before the first whistle. Al Hilal's season has not been without strain. Expectations follow them everywhere, injuries disrupt rhythm, and rivals circle eagerly, waiting for cracks to appear. Coman understands this landscape intimately. He has lived through campaigns where momentum threatened to collapse, only to be rebuilt through discipline and belief. Instead of feeding anxiety, he channels calm, grounding the squad when tension rises and redirecting nervous energy into controlled aggression. His presence reassures younger players and steadies veterans, reinforcing the idea that chaos is not an enemy but an opportunity to assert control. Against a figure like Cristiano Ronaldo, Coman's role becomes even more symbolic. This is not about fear or intimidation, but about balance. He emphasizes respect without reverence, focus without fixation. The message within Al Hilal is clear. Reputation doesn't win duels, preparation does. Coman leads by showing how elite players manage moments, when to accelerate, when to pause, and when to strike decisively. His pace and precision on the wing become weapons not just of speed, but of timing, forcing opponents to second-guess every defensive step. In the dressing room, Coman speaks with clarity rather than volume. He reminds the squad that derbies punish impatience and reward composure. That one rush decision can undo 90 minutes of hard work. The scars from past defeats, the joy from past triumphs, all serve as reference points rather than emotional burdens. His leadership is about trust in the system, trust in teammates, and trust in the process that has carried him through countless finals and title runs. Al Hilal respond to that assurance, moving with cohesion and purpose, confident in their collective strength. As the derby approaches, Coman's calm confidence becomes contagious. Fans may crave fireworks, but he understands that dominance often begins in silence, in control, in the ability to absorb pressure and release it at the perfect moment. He doesn't chase the spotlight, yet the spotlight inevitably finds him in matches of this magnitude. His achievements give weight to every gesture, every instruction, every burst forward down the flank. In a city split by rivalry and expectation, Coman stands as a reminder that greatness doesn't always announce itself loudly. It often arrives composed, prepared, and unshaken by the storm building around it. The Riyadh Derby transforms football into something raw and emotional, where tactics drawn on whiteboards quickly dissolve under the weight of pride and expectation. This is a match where logic bends and emotion takes control, where form, statistics, and predictions become secondary to mentality. From the first whistle, players are pulled into an atmosphere that demands more than technique. Ability, forcing them to confront nerves, pressure, and the fear of letting an entire fan base down. Every touch of the ball carries meaning, every challenge echoes louder, and every mistake feels heavier because this rivalry lives far beyond 90 minutes. Both Al Hilal and Al Nassr step into this battle knowing that momentum can shift instantly. One moment of hesitation can invite chaos, while one moment of bravery can tilt the entire stadium. Coaches may prepare detailed game plans, but in a derby, the real contest unfolds in the minds of the players. Who stays calm when the crowd roars? Who dares to take responsibility when the ball arrives in a decisive moment? These questions define the match more than formations or substitutions. The ability to manage emotion becomes as important as physical fitness, and the team that masters this balance gains a powerful edge. Pride sits at the centre of this encounter. For players, wearing the shirt is not just a professional duty, it is a representation of identity and belonging. Every duel becomes personal, every sprint a declaration of intent. Veterans draw on experience to steady the ship, while younger players feel the intoxicating pull of proving themselves on the biggest local stage. The intensity can overwhelm those unprepared, exposing nerves and punishing lapses in concentration. In this environment, leadership is tested, not through speeches, but through actions taken under pressure. Momentum swings violently in Derb. He's like this. A missed chance can deflate confidence, while a last-ditch tackle can ignite belief across the pitch. The crowd acts as an invisible participant, amplifying emotions and feeding off every development. Players must learn to harness that energy without being consumed by it. Those who lose control risk reckless decisions, unnecessary fouls, and costly errors. Those who remain composed can manipulate the tempo, slowing the game when needed or accelerating it to catch the opponent off guard. This derby becomes a mirror reflecting the true character of each side. Resilience is revealed when adversity strikes, whether through conceding first or facing relentless pressure. Courage appears when a player demands the ball in a hostile moment, refusing to hide. Unity is exposed in how teammates respond to setbacks, either fragmenting under stress or rallying together with renewed purpose. The battle between Al Hilal and Al Nassr is ultimately a test of collective mentality, where belief, focus, and emotional control decide who rises above the chaos and who is consumed by it. In a derby of this magnitude, football narrows down to a single instant, a flash where instinct, courage, and opportunity collide. Al Hilal versus Al Nassr is not a contest that slowly reveals its winner. It often explodes into clarity through one decisive action. A sudden run behind the defence, a perfectly timed tackle, a deflected shot, or a moment of reckless impatience can redraw the entire narrative. Players are aware of this fragile balance, and that awareness sharpens every movement, making each decision feel heavier than usual. The margin for error shrinks dramatically under the Riyadh lights. Defenders know that one misstep can turn them into villains, while attackers understand that one clean strike can elevate them into folklore. This awareness creates tension that hums beneath the surface of the match, influencing how players position themselves and how quickly they choose to act. Some freeze under the weight of consequence, playing safe and cautious, while others embrace the risk, sensing that these matches reward bravery more than restraint. The difference between genius and regret often rests on a split-second choice. Moments of brilliance don't always arrive wrapped in spectacle. Sometimes they appear quietly, through a subtle pass that breaks a defensive line or a clever movement that drags a marker away at the perfect time. Equally, moments of madness can creep in unannounced, a mistimed challenge, a needless argument with the referee, a lapse in concentration that hands the opponent an opening. In a derby, emotional control becomes a form of skill, and those who lose it even briefly can undo an entire team's effort. The players who shape these moments are not always the most famous. A fullback's interception, a goalkeeper's reflex save, or a midfielder's composure under pressure can shift belief across the pitch. Confidence spreads quickly in these games. One successful action can lift teammates, tighten defensive lines, and embolden attackers to push higher. Conversely, one error can infect a side with doubt, slowing reactions and opening spaces that didn't exist seconds earlier. The psychological ripple effect of a single incident often lasts longer than the moment itself. Fans understand this better than anyone. They wait for that heartbeat, where everything changes, where noise erupts or falls into stunned silence. The stadium reacts before the scoreboard does, sensing the swing of momentum almost instinctively. Players feed off that reaction, consciously or not, and the game accelerates into chaos or control depending on who seizes the initiative. This is why derbies are remembered not by possession statistics or passing accuracy, but by specific memories that replay endlessly in the minds of supporters. As the Riyadh Derby unfolds, every player carries the knowledge that history is watching closely. The chance to define a season, to tilt a rivalry, to become a name spoken long after the final whistle hangs in the air with every touch of the ball. In matches like this, destiny doesn't announce itself early. It waits patiently for one moment of courage or one moment of madness to decide everything. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe.